Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. That's right, the video game show that is not hosted by an annoying clickbaiter. We only talk about video games, the business of video games, and cover topics that mainstream YouTubers don't cover. Now, with that said, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and now let's get ready for the show. On today's episode... Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. We're going to talk Amico today. That's right, we're going to talk about John Alvarado's offer here for developers. And let me tell you something, guys. When the Amico was first announced, when people were talking about it, I thought that, it would be a niche console, for the older market. And I thought a lot of people would eventually, crack it open and start doing some homebrew, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of talented programmers out there, independent ones, that could, make games for this as a hobby, what have you. But let's read the offer that Mr. John Alvarado here had. For one, he was responding to Kevin, it looks like, on the Facebook group. Of course, I'm not allowed in there, because I'm a wood grain degenerate, because I'm pointing out how they're disrespecting the beloved leader by putting out this thing that violates every single one of their original commandments, pretty much. So let's get with it here. Hi, Kevin, he says. We're very selective back in 2019, and whoever was filtering the inquiries from the developers never passed yours on to me. Oh, back then you had to be an established developer with a track record of published games to be considered for a development deal, which included funding from Intellivision. My goal now is to open up development to indie developers to experiment on their own time, on their own dime, and publish anything they think is worthy for the public to consider. On their own dime. Nice. All right, we are still working out the details on how to maintain some light curation control and also make it profitable to support. Profit doesn't just mean making money, by the way. It sounds to me like your game fits a type of development I want to enable and encourage, especially if you make it meaningfully multiplayer. As Rich mentioned, I do have to be careful about looking at people's ideas without an NDA for our mutual protection. For now, I recommend that you keep an eye out for future Intellivision emails, and no doubt here on Facebook for future announcement about our third-party developer program. Okay, so, people making games for the Amico home, I think, would be a terrible idea for the developer, right? It's a win-win situation for Intellivision because they do none of the work. It's going to be all on your dime. And on top of that, right, you have to sign an NDA. So they can shut your mouth and sue you in case you get too mouthy. So there is no real benefit to the person making the game. It's good that they're going to lower the restrictions here. But I think the real caveat for anybody to make games interesting on this thing is if they ever release that controller. The controller wasn't only the biggest problem, some people called it an albatross of the Intellivision, but it was also the most interesting part of the whole deal, right? That's really the gimmick that made it work. And if the rumors are true, right, and they are trying to develop at least the controller, that would be a good thing, right? That would be a good thing for indie developers to make games for a particular controller, which they could get rewarded for because, if they just make their game to work with that controller, it has nothing to do with Intellivision. I mean, they could do an official partnership, what have you. But, tying your game to this particular Amico home is not a great idea because you would have to go through Amico home to play it. And it really isn't a way to play video games. I mean, nobody is sitting out there, okay, I'm going to get my tablet and now I'm going to get my phone in order to play this. I mean, this is not going to revolutionize the gaming industry. Nobody's going to make money, so what's the point of making it? But if you make a game that it's playable for this controller, which they should just give to a third company to produce, the well-established ones out there. And of course, it's going to be expensive as hell, guys. I mean, if you don't realize that this is a niche market by now, I mean, you just don't have a head on your shoulders, right? But it's not a bad niche market, right? The problem is, for a lot of us Gen Xers, we don't realize that we're old. We're not. A lot of people have a hard time with that, but the more you realize it, right, what type of market you're engaging in, the better your marketing becomes, and you could be profitable. I mean, you could be an indie developer out there. Forget about in television. You could just be an indie developer out there making games for, say, Gen Xers, right? And you want to make a kind of game they want to play. You want to make, Donut Dodo. You want to make Atari-type games, what have you, on a niche controller. And people are willing to pay you because you're going to put out the cartridge, you're going to do this and that and the other. You could see it with homebrews where they sell out if you market to the right people. So if you make a game that appeals to Gen Xers, right? If I'm already paying $70 for a AAA game that I may not like, right? I will most definitely pay you $50 for a cartridge that I do like in a platform that I'm willing to play, if you give me the physical media and everything else, right? So if you make it worth our while, we will give you the money. If you're an independent developer and you sell 1,000 units at $50, well, you can do the math, right? It's better than a lot of small developers get. I know that the money's all in software, right? If you do it with hardware, you can partner up with somebody else in the beginning. Eventually, you can produce your own. I mean, there's many business models you can follow out there. But this offering for John Alvarado, and this platform, the Amico Home, is not the way to go, right? If it was the Amico, if it was just the controller, maybe it would be appetizing for somebody out there. But, there's always television fans out there that will make something. How profitable will it be? It won't. Not on this platform. But you could make some money out there. There's many things that this company hasn't done that they could make money with. And the reason they don't, and this is just speculation in my behalf, the reason they're not making more money is because the investors will start going, hey, wait a minute, you're making X, Y, or Z product, you're making a lot of money off of this part of the equation, and we're not getting squat. And we funded the company, we funded your salaries. And at least they got an update, and you could see when they did it right around the holidays, so a lot of people didn't even see it, right? They do it Friday nights, they do it on holidays because they're just in a position where they can't give anybody their money back. Well, guys, with that said, there isn't really much going on here. And as you know, I'm putting out the Intellivision multiverse because nothing else is interesting to me. There's nothing to talk about business-wise. This Amico Home does not interest me at all. I don't see a wood grain anywhere. But, I always like exploring those ideas when I get a chance, and it's really easy to do on the phone, And I put the tenets of the AI. I made a special subreddit just for the Intellivision AI. So if you like looking at those things, just go there. If you want to give me any ideas for anything that you think, that's great. I'll post them on there, guys. The reason I do that is just because I just don't have the time to search around the internet and find another subject or what have you. And I like looking at the what ifs now. I'm more prone to look at older stories. Believe it or not, I'm going back and getting nostalgic for old YouTube and revisiting some of the great stories from the past. The things that are happening now in gaming are not interesting to me. I don't care that much for Fortnite other than when I play it with my grandkids. I'm not interested in a lot of the new offerings, very few of them, right? But there's a lot of stories in the past that interest me a lot. There's a lot of what ifs. like the, iMagic story. And that's what I'm focusing on. So there's a subreddit now, and I'm gonna link it below. There's a subreddit now for the Intellivision AI multiverse, where I'll put, all the videos and any concepts that come to me where, if I can just do them real quick, I'll put them up there. And there's a section for the essays also. So if you want to contribute to either one, just go there and, you can contribute your ideas there. Sometimes it's easier for me to post them there than it is to, go on YouTube and mix it in there. And I really just want a place to curate those things and keep all in one place for Intellivision fans that, just want to see them. I've also been researching old Intellivision stories. I'm going to put some of those in there, have a couple of discussions in there. Just thoughts, guys. I can't make videos for a lot of stuff, but I can sit down, and use text-to-speech and use Grammarly, use Chat GPT to help me just publish them really quick, and that's what I'm doing.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
Did you subscribe? Did you hit the like button? What the hell are you waiting for?